call the meeting to order. As is our custom, would everyone please stand and face the flag and join us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So team, we have two additions to the agenda this evening. And one would be foundation member or members addition. We'll put that under 9A, so at the bottom of page 2, adding a couple of members. And then, 19, number 19, we'll have just a little bit of input from the board members who were able to attend that walkabout at the school last week, just to throw some input in about what you observed. And that will be number 19. Isn't as bad as it sounds, 19. Adding those two, I would look for a motion to approve with the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Jolene on the motion, seconded by? I'll second. Luke? Any other discussion? All in favor of the approval of the agenda with the amendments, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried. Okay, we have a scheduled presenter, and it is the robotics team, just fresh off competition down in Texas. Was that it?
Houston, Texas, yep.
Joe is here. He's been the mentor, leader.
Mentor, yes. 9 years.
9 years.
9 years, and we
Katie,
made it to the championship.
would you walk us through the beginning of this? You
Sure. I am very proud of this team. They have accomplished so many things over the last 5 years that my family has been part of it. So I wore my shirt for them today. And these kids right here have done a phenomenal job of the work on this robot this year and all the other things. There's so many things, like I said in other meetings, that they put in effort and time and making. I believe these three back here had made how many buttons? How many was it, guys?
2,500 buttons?
2,500?
Yes.
2,500 buttons, because they do exchange buttons at these competitions with the other teams, and they were always gone in the first day, and but they're using the lab that we have, all of the new things that we have available to these students to be able to make things and create just phenomenally. Like, our robot has so many, and I can't wait I hope that they share how much of our robot we made ourselves. And I think that I think it was roughly 50% or something along those lines. But I'm going to turn it over to the kids because they've got a lot to say, and I know they might be a little nervous, but you guys will do great. And yeah, tell them about Houston. Tell them about all the fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll introduce the first person that's going to speak. One of the things about robotics is that it is all about the students, and it is, from the ground up, building, programming, CADing, marketing, work, like the buttons, but doing everything. But the other thing is also, communicating with the community, and that's why I usually just have the students be the one that do all the talking. Because I could stand up here for an hour, and you guys don't want to hear from me, you want to hear from them. So I'm going to start with Madison. She's a 10th grader, Madison Detman. She's going to talk about our season overview, right?
Yep. Over here. All right. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Madison Detman, and today I will be telling you about our season recap. On this team, we have a total of 29 students, and we are unfortunately losing 7 of them this year because they are graduating. And we have 6 mentors and 1 amazing bus driver. His name is Bob. We love Bob. He brought us to Duluth and Iowa, and he even brought us to Houston, but unfortunately could not come with us to Houston. So in the beginning of our off season, it was when we had our old robot, and we went to Woodbury in November, and we went to a little competition there with our old robot before we had to completely get rid of it and build this one. And we found out our new game reveal on January 6th. So we all gathered here in this little library and we watched the video. And as soon as it was announced, all of us got together and started coming up with new ideas of how to build this robot right here. We had exactly 6 weeks to build and program our robot before we had to go to our first competition in Duluth. That was our first main competition, but before we did go to week 0 in Egan, which is like a practice before you go compete in your main big competition. So in Duluth, we left on March 1st, and unfortunately we did rank 46 out of 55, but we did end up getting picked for playoffs, which was super exciting, and we ended up winning first, which is how we got this really cool blue banner that we are really proud of. It's our first one we've ever gotten, which then qualified us for Houston. But then we still had another competition about 3 weeks later, was it, Iowa? About 3 weeks later, and we ranked really well on that one. We ranked 16 out of 54, which is really good, but unfortunately, we were picked for playoffs then, and we finished in 7th place, so we did not win again, but it's all right because we were so excited that we won in Duluth, it didn't really matter. We even got to play with teams from Brazil and China that were in Iowa, which is pretty crazy, seeing how they traveled all this far just to come compete with us and compete in Iowa. And then, April 17th, we hopped on a plane and went to Texas. It was so much fun. We ended up ranking 24 out of 75 in our division, and we ended up scoring 23rd in all, but we did not get picked for playoffs, which was a little disappointing. We were disappointed, but it was so much fun to get the experience in Houston, and we hope to go back next year.
Thanks, Madison. I guess I didn't mention, Madison, this is your 3rd year?
Yeah.
3rd year in robotics. And now I'm going to bring up a student, actually the next 2 students, that this is their 1st year. And I had 17 of the kids that were, I'll call them rookies, new kids to the team. And they did such a cool job. I'll bring up Avery Stark. She's going to just talk about some of the persons that we need to thank for our season this year, right? Come on. She's a 9th grader.
Hi, my name is Avery Stark. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about sponsors and some of the thank yous that we had. So we had amazing sponsors this year, and they paid for a lot of our trip. So our main sponsor is Gemini. Gemini has given us a lot of money over the years and have been with us since the beginning. We had over 35 sponsors this year, which is a lot, and a lot of people that have supported us. So our sponsors' funding paid for our event registration, which cost $15,000. Our parts, which this year, some big parts that we added were a secondary robot to help our drive team learn how to drive. And then new swerve drive, which is a new module that we had never used before. And that cost about $8,000. And then some new tools that we got. We got a CNC mill, which was another big thing, and it helped us make a lot of the custom parts on our robot. And then we also got Milwaukee packouts, which were huge for Houston because we had only a little bit of space to put all of our stuff. Tools cost us about $3,500 this year. And then travel and food cost us about $26,000, plus all of the family parents who helped us out throughout the years. And on Saturdays, we had meals, and all of the parents really showed up for us for that and brought us food and just their time. And then we'd like to thank the school for all that they've done for us. So with the new facility changes, they've really helped us out a lot. Specifically, we got a storage closet to keep all of our stuff in, a storage container to help store everything, and then room in the shop for us to drive and classrooms for us to use to just look at everything on our robot. And then we'd like to thank the custodial staff who were always there to help us and clean up after us, and then the admin staff who helped us out a lot.
Thanks, Avery. The next speaker is going to be Thomas, right? Yeah. Number 3. And he's going to talk about one of the big things that I've always been a proponent of is STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. And as part of this program, getting in the community and talking to our future mom bots is a big deal. So he's going to talk about the STEM community outreach programs that we've done this year.
Yeah. So as a team, I mean, one of our biggest STEM outreaches is just being the team that builds this robot, but we also like to get, especially out to younger kids, more opportunities to get involved with robotics at a young age. One of the ways we do that is we have a summer Lego robotics camp that we hold every year, and that is, I believe, second grade or first grade to eighth grade we offer that to, and that is either a week long or they can do a 2-day option where we have them come in, we have them build small Lego robots and then compete in challenges with that. And we both advise them and help them try to grow a little bit and try to learn more stuff dealing with STEM throughout that program. For the older kids in the past couple years, we've had them start like around 6th to 8th graders, we've had them build parts on our main robot just so they can get experience with working with more of an industrial standard robot. The other thing we do is down in the elementary school, they have a 4th and 5th grade Lego robotics team. That's something that my dad has helped out a lot with, and we like to send kids down there to try to help lead the kids and give them some support. As well, we do like the elementary school science night. We'll do a presentation there, kind of similar to this, where we'll let the kids walk up to our robot, poke around, ask questions, and then we'll let them drive the robot as well. We also do some other demos at school. So we do an 8th grade demo here in Mr. Seneschal's room right there. So we kind of talk a little bit about the team, and that's trying to get some 8th graders to join our team. We also do it down at the elementary school, where again, we'll just kind of show, I think that one's for 2nd through 5th graders, and we'll just show each class individually kind of what the robotics team is about, and then let them ask questions and kind of poke around the robot a little bit. And then we do a Gemini demo as well. So we'll go over for Gemini's community night kind of thing. We go over there and we'll do another presentation to the full community. So it's not so focused on the kids that day, but we still do like to get the kids out there and interested. And then we really just are trying to get robotics out there and STEM out there in general, just to increase opportunities for kids that are interested. And we also offer other like fields, because it takes a lot to build a robotics team, more than just building the robot and programming it. And that's where like the sponsor and like business management comes in, because we do have to manage those funds and we do have to get our kind of name out there. So we do a lot of other stuff besides just STEM as well. So yeah.
Okay, our next speaker is going to be Kata Rizak. She's also a 9th grader, first year on the team. And you are going to talk about what you and other students get out of this program.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Zach, like he said. This is my first year on the team, and I've learned a lot, especially from our mentors. Most kids, when they come, they know the basics of the wood shop, and I knew how to use a drill, but I became more confident with using a drill. We've gotten a lot of scholarship opportunities with the kids through robotics. A lot of the colleges look for FIRST in your applications. They like to see that you're involved with FIRST. And we get a lot of connections with the community and local businesses. The FIRST community is great. There's a lot of, one thing they like to go off of is good, what is it called again?
Gracious professionalism?
Gracious professionalism, where we like to be professional, but we have, there's competitiveness in robotics, but we need to be professional with it. The FIRST community is good. We walk around in the pits, which is basically where the robots stays when it's not competing, and we go and talk to other teams about their robot, and we try to get information so when we are teamed up with them, we have a little bit of an advantage and we know what they can do and what they can't do. So me and Avery one time went pit scouting, and we talked to a bunch of teams from all over the world, and it was really cool to see how different their robots were and how different it was, how their their group was compared to ours. And we get good friendships. I've met Maddie, but now I've become more friends with her because of robotics and other teammates too. That's about what I have to say.
Thanks, Jenna. Our last speaker is going to be Rylan Lindquist. He's a first year on robotics, 10th grader. He's going to give a quick overview of the game, and then we're going to drive the robot.
As Joe said, I'm a rookie. This year I did a lot of building. Also did strategy. Strategy is every year there's a different game, so we have to like build different robot and all that. You have to rethink all the strategy. I mean, basis stays the same, like how you're gonna score. Well, not necessarily how you're gonna score, but like what you need to do and work with other teams. This year we were scoring with these orange notes. We needed to score them in either the speaker or the amp, which is located right here. You score points in those. First 15 seconds of the game are autonomous, so we have a software program to completely do it without any driver input. This would attempt to, when the game starts, there's a bunch of notes right here and right here. The robot with the autonomous program would attempt to score as many notes as possible in the speaker or the amp. During endgame, there was chains on like a little stage, and the goal was to hang on to that at the end game, get every robot to hang on to that, and hopefully hang on to get stay on. Hope our climber works and score a bunch of points for that. There's also human players, which are behind the amp, and they would try and toss notes onto the top of the stage for some extra points. They're part of the strategy. Ranking points were very important, like working with your teammates, and also working with your opposing alliance. Too, there was a competition points, which you could, if you both agreed, you get ranking points. Ranking points increase like your rank and your ability to be on a playoff team. I think that's the basis of it.
You guys want to see the robot drive?
Yeah.
I think Thomas.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah,
I have a question. At the end of the year or going into next year, what happens with this robot as you get your task for the next one?
like I said, I have 17 new students this year, and I have to break it so that they have to tear that apart.
Sure.
Oh.
Tear it down. It's one of the Saturdays of the year. It's in the fall.
Yeah.
We'll have a competition in the fall where we use this robot, and then we'll take it back. Yes, it'll gracefully die.
So every year,
Every
take
year.
apart, start a new
I
one.
mean, there's parts that we definitely will use this for drive modules over again, but most everything else will get torn down.
Joe, would you introduce your adult teammates here?
Yes, we actually have 6 mentors, and 3 of us are here tonight. We have some part-time mentors, but I have Brent Breeze, works for the state of Minnesota in the IT department. He's one of our primary mentors. During competitions, he and I spend a lot of time actually volunteering at the events to try and get out of the kids' hair, is probably the easiest thing. Brent is one of the referees on the field, so he knows the game pretty well. That actually helps our team in different ways. But also having him and me volunteer keeps the kids in charge of everything. And then we have Jack Schlichting. He's a mentor that does lots of things. Whenever we call, he comes and takes care of us. But what you see about all this plywood is primarily Jack's fault and responsibility. One thing that he also did for us this year was went up to Duluth, and at the end of the competition, they get rid of the carpet because they can't use it anymore because these robots actually tear up carpet pretty well when we're in a competition. We needed some carpet to help us because somebody took the carpet out of the cafeteria, which is okay. It actually ended up working out great for us. But Jack went up there and grabbed some carpet for us, so now we have carpet that we can, during practice, lay out in the metal shop.
Jeff Reinhardt's trailer.
With Jeff Reinhardt's trailer. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Community deal.
Takes a village to raise a robotics team.
Yeah.
So, yes.
What about, do we have any seniors that will be graduating this year that are furthering and going into college and doing something similar or something with this by chance?
Sure. You guys probably don't know the answer to that. I usually like Casey answer this question. But I do have 7 graduating seniors. Interestingly, 2 of them are first-year students or whatever, and I always laugh about that is that it's a question of the mentor's deciding first whether, why didn't you come earlier, or whether the kid decides, why didn't I come earlier? Usually it's the kids, they're like, why didn't I do this sooner in my career or whatever. As far as students going on, let me think about that for a second. I know Cooper's going into management stuff, business and
Marketing.
business and marketing, which is an interesting piece that he learned a lot from project management. I mean, he managed the team basically. So not necessarily a STEM skill. Who else is graduating? Brandon Swenson is actually a very interesting kid that I think he's been on the team for 4 years graduating. And 2 years ago, we had another mentor from 3M, Jasmine, that is really good at CADing. And Brandon Swenson picked this up and he loves it. And he went through you guys' program for Earn and Learn, is that what it's called? What's the one where they go into a business and during the school day, is it?
Learn and Earn.
Earn and Learn?
Learn and Earn.
Learn and Earn, thank you. But he did that and he was exposed a little bit to CADing. He was like, hey, I can do this as a job. So he's taking a CAD program down in Rochester that he's doing. Yeah, I have alumni that are.
You gotta go through some of the alumni.
Alumni that are working at Tesla, one that graduated from the Air Force
Nice.
Academy, one that's actually working in a company in Denver that is making electric motors for airplanes. And the list just goes on.
Several in engineering that maybe wouldn't have thought of that. Can't say we get 100% of the credit, but we definitely helped steer them that way.
Totally. It's awesome.
Yes.
I'd say we have more than our fair share of kids over the history that have gotten the big Gemini scholarship too.
Yes.
Well, let's take a look.
See you drive.
Let's
So
get this out of the way too. We don't want By the way, I've tried to drive this robot in past years, and I'm showing you my age, I can't do it. This one I can drive. You guys can pick it up in about 10 minutes. It's so easy to do. Go left.
Thomas has been our primary driver, so he's the one controlling the movement of the thing. Our theme operator, Madison, hasn't been doing that, so she's learning as she goes, which is fine. I feel like I have some kids in the future that will be on our drive team, standing back here, that are awesome at this. So, Thomas, can you just talk a little bit about a couple of sensors on here that aren't very obvious?
Yeah, so there's a black camera on the front of the robot. It's directly in the middle. And that's what we use. We can there's one in front as well in the middle, and we can use that to see the robot. So that's called a limelight, and that can both give us a camera view on the screen as well as do some image processing to detect where a note is. So we can use that to note automatically. So that was just me pressing one button and it goes and finds it for us. And then as well, you can see the note kind of stop halfway in, and that's because we have kind of like on a garage door, we have that, it's called a beam brake sensor, and you know when something gets in the way, you can't shut your garage door anymore. We have the same kind of thing inside our robot, so we know when we have picked up a note. And then
That's the rule, right?
And
You only have one on a time.
yeah.
And we get haptic feedback on this, and it vibrates one of
Yeah.
the Xbox controllers when we have something in it.
So when I'm driving from all the way across the field and I can't quite tell when a note's all the way in, it'll buzz my controller so I know that, hey, I'm done picking up a note, I can start driving back kind of thing. Some other sensors that we have on it, we use a gyro sensor, and that's a 3-axis gyro sensor, so it can tell which way it's facing, how much it's tilting in both the sideways and up and down space. And then we also, for our storage drives, there's small little sensors that flash green, if you can see that maybe. They're right on the corner of the robot, and those are our encoders. And what those do is they tell us the rotation of our wheel, so that way when like a driver